The Harbor Hawks were back out at McKeon Park on Sunday afternoon for a double dip against the Brewster Whitecaps, taking both games, Game 1 by a score of 4-3 and Game 2 by a final score of 6-5. Welcome into Hawk Talk, everybody. Lyle Goldstein alongside Chris Lucey and Robert Marcello. And Robert, starting with you in Game 1, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks really struggled to swing the bats offensively in the early going. They had no runs through the first 5 frames, and then in the 6th inning, down 3-0, they put up 3 runs on the Whitecaps.
I think it was definitely big at the start of the inning to be able to get a leadoff guy. Only 2 or 3 times before that they were able to get that guy on. So be able to get the leadoff guy on really kind of gets the trend going, and they were able to score all those runs to be able to tie the game.
Then, Chris, they go to extra innings. Of course, a 7-inning game, it goes to 8 innings, so not your prototypical extra innings, but in the bottom of the 8th, Eric Rivera out of Florida State, a line drive single down the line to walk it off against the Whitecaps in Game 1.
It's like Dad always says, on Father's Day, I bring out the dad jokes. Good things come to those who wait. And Eric Rivera, through his first couple games in the Cape, was scuffling to get that first hit, and then they just started pouring out later in the doubleheader as he recorded hits in his second at-bat to get the RBI that tied the game, and then in his final at-bat of the game, just putting bat on ball. Pitcher missed a spot. He barreled it right up, sent it down the right field line, and just completely out of reach of the right fielder. So that was the ball game for Eric Rivera. 2 huge hits for him, and they came at a great time as well, as now he has a doubleheader. He has a day off tomorrow to feel good about himself, keep his confidence up, and then just continue rolling through the rest of the season.
Our hero of Game 1 caught up with our field reporter Dani Terzer after the game.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Eric Rivera. Eric, you had the best possible outcome today in Game 1, a walk-off hit that brought Matthew Barefoot home for a 4-3 win over the Whitecaps. It's not an unfamiliar story for you either. What was your approach heading to the plate?
Just honestly just go up there, and I've been struggling a little bit, so just go up there, see the pitch, and put a good swing on it, and luckily it worked out.
Like you said, a little bit of a slow start for you out here on the Cape. How are you settling into your game?
It's good for me. I feel like I always like to be on the adversity side of it. There's a lot of good ball players here, but yeah, I've been struggling, so I take it as motivation. Just come out every day and just play hard, and good things will happen.
Riding high on confidence right now, I'm sure. What can we expect from you for the rest of the season?
So always play hard and try to get some hits.
Thanks.
All right, guys, then in Game 2, the Harbor Hawks carried that offensive trend in the early going of the second game, Robert. 4 runs in the first inning. They got off to a hot start on the Brewster Whitecaps.
They definitely did. I think be able to be patient at the start of the game, I think helped them have the bases being loaded, and then them cashing in on that mistake was huge in getting Major out of the game.
And then Chris, Jordan Fowler, starter for the Harbor Hawks in Game 2, lasted 2 1/3 innings, gave up a couple of runs, but how about the outing of Wright State right-hander Jeremy Randolph through 4 innings, scoreless ball, got into a little bit of trouble in the 7th inning, but for the most part, a fantastic outing from the right-hander.
We talked about this on the post-game show, too. That's just baseball for you. One pitch can seem to spoil what was a tremendous outing from Randolph. He had command of the zone the entire time, was working his slider very well, had an off-speed pitch that was dipping around away from bats, but he just missed on one last pitch, and it was golfed. It drove in 3 runs. Wolf out of Stanford was able to get his barrel on the ball, and he would have stretched it into a triple, too, if not for a great relay throw from Colin Hall and Taylor Garris to gun him out at third. He had a stellar debut for the Whitecaps in his first game on the Cape this summer, and it almost spoiled a big win for the Harbor Hawks. But then again, Brett Schultz coming in at the back end and getting the final out of the game in his debut to lock down the save, and a crucial win for the Harbor Hawks.
Schultz throwing a third of an inning in his Cape Cod Baseball League debut, slamming the door on the Whitecaps to lock down a 6-5 win. Hyannis is off tomorrow and back at it here at McKeon Park on Tuesday as they'll take on the Cotuit Kettleers. Until then, have a good one, everybody.